Hey, what is up, people? It is your boy Johnny, and today we have a new PlayStation 5 tutorial. So, this tutorial is basically going to show you how to enable HDR in 4K for your PlayStation 5. So, obviously, you need to have a 4K HDR capable TV on your PlayStation 5 to be able to enable this. So, many people were having an issue where it was turning to 1080p. They couldn't enable HDR simply because it was turning back to 1080p. So this is gonna depend on your television. So if you have a HDR capable TV and you know you have one, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to Google either the settings of that TV. So as you're watching in this video for the Sony TVs, I have to go into the settings of my television and go into the enhanced HDMI mode, which basically allows me to get more signal data through the HDR input and the HDMI. It allows it to enable it to more data that transfers to the HDMI. And my television, I believe, has 18 gigabits of data transfer for the HDMI, so I had to enable it enhanced. And as you guys can see in the video that's replaying, those two HDMIs specifically are enabled for the HDR capabilities or the higher data transfer rate for your HDMI. For example, in my television, in the Sony TVs, typically for my TV is HDMI slot 2 and 3. So I can connect it to either of these two slots in my television, and I will be able to get the maximum performance for 4K HDR. Now, there's other televisions such as the Samsung that has an area where you had to enable it, and it's the same thing as well for older Samsung televisions where HDR you had to enable it in the 4K area or UHD, something like that. You can always Google it online. They give you a lot of resources online. Like if you're having trouble, Google the model of television that you have and put how do I enable HDR. And sometimes these websites will also tell you basically if your TV has a certain slot that has a better transfer rate in the HDMI that allows it to play HDR content on your television. Now, most of the new modern televisions or the newer 4K TVs like the HDMI 2.1, I believe, are already pretty much all set to go. You don't even have to go and set anything in the settings because they're already optimized for the 4K HDR. But, you know, several of us have older HDR 4K TVs, the first releases that came out, and you have to Google everything online on how to enable it or which two HDMI slots are capable of 4K HDR. Now, this will usually fix the problem for your television if you're getting that thing where the resolution switches back to 1080p with no HDR. Because you need to find this option on your television. So if you have a TLC or a LG, all of these TVs probably have a specific HDR HDMI slot that will work with 4K. Or if they don't, then you have to Google it or enable it somewhere in the settings. I know that some of these televisions can be a pain in the butt because the setting is kind of like hidden in some of these televisions. I remember that when I had a Samsung in the past, it took me a while to enable it for my PS4 Pro because I couldn't find the settings. But you just have to keep looking around until you find the settings that enables HDR or UHD or Ultra HD on your television. So it's basically going to be the HDMI port that has the more capacity to send the data to the PS4 or I mean to the PlayStation 5. So if you're having any trouble and it keeps switching to 1080p, just look into the brand of the television you have. Google it online, how to enable HDR. And sometimes there are some tutorials out there with the PlayStation 4 Pro. So it's the same thing as the PlayStation 4 Pro, enabling that HDMI HDR that or putting in the right HDMI slot into the cable on the back of your TV into the right slot. Will help you actually figure out which one it is. So if you're having difficulties, just make sure to Google it. There has to be a setting on your TV that will allow you to do this. So if you have any questions, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe button and leave a comment in the comment section. Thank you.